A lot of my family, when they knew that I was coming to Jordan, to the Middle East, they thought I was crazy. They said, "Why would you do that? We hear all these bad things on the news about the Middle East."
They're gonna rape your girls and your wife, they're gonna kill you.
I thought we would have to eat with our hands. There would be like animals everywhere, like camels and sheep.
There's a difference in what you can see with your eyes and what you can see with your heart.
I can't help but think that that influences people's mood sometimes, to be warm, to be friendly. We have different methods of getting stories back to North America. Not so much doing a whole lot here as changing the perspective of people back there.
The only thing that's more powerful than greed and hate is love. And it takes time to do that. I think for me, this was for the most part a belief until after college I had the opportunity to work in Afghanistan. I saw with my own eyes the effects of Western imperialism and militarism, the US invasion of Afghanistan. I was working remotely for 4 or 5 years. And I think that really brought together for me the belief and practice, like the things that I believed, but then the things that I also saw with my own eyes. And so from that time forward, I've really had a desire to work to improve relations between the Middle East and the West.
I was living in South Alabama and managing a writing center at a community college. So I'd been in this field for about 7 years, but I got to a point where I was ready for a change. Josh and I had been married about a year, and we were thinking about places to go and what we wanted to do with our life. I was up for building many different things, and Josh had a more particular focus of wanting to learn language, and in particular Arabic. And so we started looking in the region and what places might be an option for us to live in semi-safety, so that really cut out a lot of countries. And so we started exploring Jordan.
The first time I came here, I was just a tourist, and I was only here for 4 or 5 days. I did what a lot of tourists do. I went and saw Petra, I stayed in a hotel in the downtown, I walked around in the market, and it was really nice. I really enjoyed it, and I felt somehow that it was quite romantic.
Then we kind of decided, Amman, we wanted to just come, so we came.
My wife and I work with the Mennonite Central Committee, and we oversee our work here in Jordan and in Iraq and in Iran as well. So the Mennonite Central Committee is a ministry of Anabaptist churches. It's a relief and development organization that works in about 50 countries to meet basic human needs. The Mennonite Central Committee has been registered here in Jordan since 1968, so we're one of the longest operating NGOs in Jordan. في كثير ناس بالأمريكا وبكندا هم بيدعمونا، بس ما عندهم كثير خبرة عن الشرق الأوسط، ما عنده فكرة، وعشان هيك في جهل، ولما في جهل ناس بيفكروا غلط. وعشان هيك بالنسبة لنا في شيء مهم، يعني لازم نكون الجسر بينهم يعني اللي بيدعمونا بالأمريكا وكندا وبين الناس هون.
One of my responsibilities is to deal with communication for all the projects that we do. And we have different methods of getting stories back to North America.
The Mennonites are working to respond to the crisis in Syria and Iraq. In the region, we've programmed about $42 million since the beginning of the conflict in Syria. And in Jordan, a lot of that work is just direct relief. A lot of it's been winterization work with some of our local partners to provide cash assistance for winterization or to directly provide winterization items. When we first arrived, I couldn't speak any Arabic at all, but I would go in and try to say, you know, marhaba, kayf halak, and shway shway, I would say a little bit more, until it finally got to the point where I actually could have a relationship with him and could have a conversation with him.
مرحبا كيفك محمود؟ يا هلا بيك كيف شو اخبارك؟ ان شاء الله داوم ان شاء الله.
So a lot of my friends who are, you know, ajanib, they've talked about harassment that they've had. And so a lot of times I make Josh come with me places and walk with me places, and he keeps telling me, can you not just go by yourself or go with a girlfriend? And so there was one time where I said, okay. So I wanted to go see a friend who lives out near 8th Circle. And I went out and I was gonna get a taxi. And I was up at Paris Circle looking for one. And so I sometimes I will not, if I'm alone, I don't like to get in taxis with younger men. I just feel like it's less safe and comfortable. And so it was a really busy time of the day and I was really desperate and it was getting later. So I ended up getting in a taxi with a young man. And so he hadn't started the meter. So I asked him to start the meter. Second taxi pulls up a few minutes later and I hop in the car, the meter's not on. I ask him to turn on the meter. He doesn't turn on the meter, so I say, khalas. So I get out of the car. Third taxi. Same day, I get in the car, the meter's not on, he doesn't turn on the meter, and I'm just like, what is my day? And I call Josh, I say, Josh, this is why I don't go out in taxis by myself, right? This is the whole reason. It's a whole different experience when you're with a man, or maybe you are a man. Josh has many beautiful stories of lovely taxi drivers, and the times that I've gone out, I don't. So sorry, taxi driver men. It has not been that great of an experience with me. But for the most part, I just really try to avoid going anywhere alone, and I think it's a lot more helpful when I'm with people and groups. What we enjoyed there was walking in a park. What we enjoy here is walking in mountains. So we kept on walking along the road, and as we passed goats and sheep trotting along the road, and there was a gentleman who was leading them, and he saw us and he stopped and he's in Arabic, he's saying, you know, where are you from? And why are you here? And come drink chai with us, come drink galway with us. And so again, we were like, thank you, that's so nice, it's thoughtful. This was at the end of our walk, and we were ready to, you know, go home. But he insisted, so he's taking us literally like by the arm into his home. So we said, okay. So we go and we sit in his nice sitting room. And I tell them that I really like his goats because I think they're very cute, you know, floppy ears. On our hike, and we were a little bit lost. We didn't know exactly how to get back to our car, which we'd parked kind of a ways away. And so there was this group of people having a picnic. And so we sat down and we ended up just snapping a quick picture. And I posted on Facebook later, I said, if I were to get lost in any country, I would choose Jordan.
So one of my worst experiences was in Petra. What happened once was I was there with a group of friends, and one of the guides felt that I was trying to be a guide. So he was very angry about that. He felt like I was cutting into his business, and so he called the police and made it a big problem. And he wanted to lodge a complaint against me. The police were really polite, and هم ما كانوا يحكوا إنجليزي بس وكان لازم أحكي معهم بالعربي بس حكيت لهم إيدي بزنارك أنا ما بدي أروح على السجن ساعدني and they talked the guide into dropping the complaint. So it took a long time. It probably took like 2 hours, 3 hours, but in the end, everything was okay. كل ناس كان محترمين كثير. And in the end, this is what I love about Jordan, the way that maybe there's a problem and people can be a little bit quick to get angry, but they can also be quick to forgive. So in the end, the guide who wanted to lodge a complaint against me with the police, he was the one who gave me a ride in his pickup truck back to where the bus was, so I didn't have to walk.
People from my area of the United States, I think some of them absolutely know what it's like to be in the Middle East, no more than the desert and the hot sun. But still there are some who imagine people riding camels and living in tents. So one thing I deliberately try to do is post things on Facebook that challenge that limited picture of what it means to live in the Middle East. Sometimes that means, I have a friend, Adel, and he is part of a book club here in Amman. And there was one post I put up there that just showed Josh and Adel reading the same book. So Josh had just read it in English, Adel had just read it in Arabic, just to show one simple thing: there are book clubs in Jordan.
هلا أنا بطبخ الشوربة عدس كان زاكي كتير أو زاكي كتير. The recipe is from a friend who lives in Iraq, and when Josh and I were visiting, he made this really great soup, and so I would like to share this with my friends tonight.
I like a lot of Jordanian food. I do like maglube. That would probably be my preferred food. I also like falafel a lot. I like mutabbe. Come on. One of my favorite things is probably kanafe. I don't eat it that often because I'm sure it's not good for me, but I like it. Kanafe khashab. Khashme. I'll say it again. Khashme? Khashne. Okay.
I feel like I've really enjoyed living here in Jordan because of the people that are here. They're so friendly. And I think maybe people in America don't know that about Arabs. They don't know about the hospitality in the culture.
The biggest question people ask me when I go back to the US is they say, aren't you scared to live in Jordan? And of course I say, no, I'm not scared at all. I feel very safe all the time in Jordan. Sometimes even more safe than I would feel going around in parts of the US.
Yeah, the people here are very community oriented, so that's kind of the way that that's my culture. Except for Americans are more individualistic, but Koreans were very community oriented as well, so it's kind of similar to here.